Picking up that win against Texas Tech. The state of Texas has really had a rough go at it down here in Florida, but Oklahoma State with that come from behind win against Northwestern, who was really on a tear out here. But that pitcher's duel, Valerie Cagle going up against Gabby Plain. Clemson upsets undefeated number 5 Washington to pick up that big win.
First time for the Tigers taking down a top 10 opponent. Meanwhile, UCF, this is how it's kind of been up and down for this Knights group. Started off with a couple of losses, then winning in extras against Texas Tech, dropping their next game against Tennessee, and then a wild ball game to finish out the night yesterday against Texas. Meanwhile, Lonnie Alameda's group for FSU just continuing to roll through 3 straight victories, including that big one yesterday over 16th ranked Michigan team. Catherine Sandercock in the circle. She's the ace for this Knowles group.
Sandercock's going to bring the ball in there in that high 60s, and she's known for that drop ball. Really made a name for herself in that 2021 Women's College World Series last season. She's going to work to keep the ball down in the zone, induce a ton of ground balls for her defense to work behind her.
And UCF, the visitors on the scoreboard, with Florida State, the home team for this ball game. Janisha Rowe, the sophomore center fielder, leading it off for the Knights. Rowe playing her first season in Orlando, coming over from Florida Gulf Coast. She's going against one of the premier pitchers in the country in Catherine Sandercock, who has her down to the count 1-2.
Can already see that movement on that drop ball down in the zone. Even more difficult for these slappers to try to make good contact against, because they're moving their way through the box, so that pitch is coming at them even faster than it would if they were just to stand in there static.
The pitch to Rowe, and Sandercock strikes out the first batter she faces. Let's take a look at this UCF Knights starting lineup.
For the Knights, number 22.
And Jada Cody, who is on deck. She, along with Shannon Doherty, the 4-hole hitter, 2 names that you'll want to pay attention to throughout this season. Already had some magic happening earlier last weekend. Kennedy Searcy, part of that All-American Athletic Conference rookie team last year. She's the designated player for today.
And she's somebody with so much athletic ability up at the plate. She made that all-rookie team, and she had a season-ending injury on April 9th. You can notice that knee brace that she has on her right leg stepping into the box, something that she's still working to come back from. And definitely a 5-tool player that UCF's looking to utilize throughout the rest of this season.
Well, she's ahead in the count, 3 balls and no strikes. And hoping to get on base against Sandercock. Taking all the way, there's strike 1. Sandercock working a more moderate pace as Kennedy Searcy awaits. And right back to the pitcher, and Sandercock casually throws it to first for out number 2.
Good job by Sandercock to come back after falling behind in that 3-ball count. Works her way back with the drop ball, induces a ground ball, helps herself out by firing that one over to 1.
Preseason All-ACC selection. You talked about the different types of pitches that she can toss out of that hand. Likes to use that drop. This one coming in for a strike. Jada Cody, the sophomore who was a bright spot last weekend. to open the season for the Knights.
10 RBI headed into this weekend, really solidifying her spot as that big offensive producer in the middle of this lineup.
And Cody again is able to hit it back to Sandercock. She does her job, fields her position. 1, 2, 3 inning. Here come the Noles when we come back.
Hey fans, be sure to hit up the Visit St. Pete Clearwater booth for a fun photo opportunity and prizes. Register for your chance to win a chair, perfect for the beach or softball fields. While there,
St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational, presented by Wilson, is brought to you by Visit St. Pete. St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational, presented by Wilson, is brought to you by Visit St. Pete Clearwater, Florida, and Wilson Fast. St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational, presented by Wilson, is brought to you by Visit St. Pete Clearwater, Florida, and Wilson Fast Pitch, leaders in softball innovation.
Great scene here from the Eddie Seymour Softball Complex, and Knights fans sitting next to Noles fans in the stands, and in the circle is Kama Woodall, the senior who transferred over from East Carolina. What does she throw?
Kama Woodall's going to have a ton of spin on her pitches. She likes to work the ball down in the zone, similar to Sandercock, trying to induce those ground balls, really make her D work behind her. And she's somebody who really works on getting 3 different speeds coming at these batters to try to keep them off balance. Really something that Coach Sydney Ball Malone really emphasizes with her entire pitching staff.
A lot of different arms that she can go to in her pin, but she goes with Woodall as she faces off against Kaylee Mudge. And Ashley Griffin going over to the dugout, having a little look at her as Coach Sydney Ball Malone checking her out, and Griffin grabbing that left eye.
Almost looks like
may have gotten
something in her eye. Yeah, they're kind of washing it out. I'd imagine that a key part of catching is being able to see the ball coming at you. So
indeed. That'd probably help a little bit, I'd say. And catching is not an easy thing to do. Yeah, I know that sounds like duh, but I mean, just think about, you're in a crouch position for much of the game. You are involved in every play, just about, and all kinds of stuff. You know, bat can come your way. The balls, you know, you got to sometimes block yourself from and keep it in front of you.
Well, of course, I think there's the physical component of catching, of course, like you're mentioning, just every single pitch coming your way, but also the leadership standpoint, having to take control of that battery, lead the infield. You're really in charge back there behind the plate, making sure that your pitcher is doing what they need to in the circle.
You think about a player like Ashley Griffin coming in as a true freshman into this program, and assuming that role. The 2-1 to Mudge. And just past the stretch glove of Jada Cody and a leadoff single for Kaylee Mudge. Well, Florida State in this lineup has taken it to opponents this season and this weekend from top to bottom, but really in the chunk and heart of that order of Leonard, Harding, Edenfield, and Sydney Sherrill coming in to try to help in the bottom half of the order.
I'd say they just have a really balanced offense. You have some hitters in there with a ton of power that can leave the yard at any time. But then you've got these people at the top of the lineup that are just consistent. They are going to put the pressure on the defense. Triple threat, left-handed batters. They can slap, they can hit away, they can drop a bunt. So truly creating that chaos as an offense is part of their game plan.
And you're looking at one of those triple threats in the box now in Janai Kerr. Kerr out of Mapleton, Georgia. Had that home run, first time since tearing her ACL at the beginning of last season. And taking off is Kaylee Mudge. Great jump time, did perfectly, slides in safely.
For Florida State, it's not a matter of if they're going to steal, it's just when they're going to steal. And Kaylee Mudge getting a good jump on this one, sliding safely into second base to move her way over into scoring position. You see her sneak in just another look at home plate too to see if her teammate was able to make contact with that one, but never breaking stride.
Sixth in the nation in stolen bases last year. The 2-2 to Kerr. And going outside, chasing, and strikeout number 1 for Woodall.
Good response for Woodall. We even mentioned in the scouting report, she likes to live low in the zone, but I like that she's changing it up. Going up in the zone with this rise ball, getting Janai Kerr to chase it, that pitch way up and away to get that first out.
That brings up Mac Leonard. And the first baseman looks at strike 1. Leonard, who has come into this program, came over from Illinois State and just immersed herself naturally into this group. Senior hitting .571 on the season. That one in there for a strike, 2 balls. And 2 strikes to Leonard.
We've talked about it several times already this tournament, just these pitchers early in the ball games having to establish that strike zone. What sort of calls are they not going to get as we move through this ball game?
And we saw in that last game with Washington and Clemson how 2 top-rated pitchers saw that strike zone continue to shrink. Woodall establishing, trying to get it established early as Leonard stays off that outside pitch.
Woodall just continues to throw the ball on the outside part of the plate to Mac Leonard, knowing she's somebody that has a lot of pop in her bat. And you mentioned establishing that zone, seeing just how far out she can get it.
Came inside for the first time against Mac Leonard, who fouls it off her foot. So going right at Leonard on that full count pitch.
See, Oh yeah, right off the inside of the foot. Pretty much the only part of her lower right leg that is not covered by that shield down there.
And gets her swinging on the outside part of the plate. A little inside-outside action from Woodall.
Perfect setup pitch. That pitch before coming inside. We talked about it. She was setting her up outside majority of this at-bat. Gives a different look coming in. Mac Leonard fouls it off of her foot. Gets her leaning, though, on this outside strike. Already the mental chess game between these pitchers and the hitters going on in this UCF Florida State battle.
Kaylee Harding, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Seven RBI on the season, still looking at a runner in scoring position at second after that leadoff single by Mudge.
The first right-handed batter that Kama Woodall has faced in this Florida State offense. We've already seen her work outside to the lefties, now having to flip-flop that, throw to the opposite side of the plate against Kaylee Harding.
Don't get that one called low and inside. This Florida State team who made it to the championship series before coming up short against Oklahoma.
What a great run they made last season to a team that was really overlooked throughout the regular season. And perfectly honest, I did as well. When you looked at their hitting statistics compared to years past, you're thinking, what's going on? But it was all part of their game plan. They're trying to figure it out. What makes their team click? What makes them so good up at the plate? And even Coach Alameda said, hey, we're doing something right. We ended up being 6 outs away from winning a national championship.
And she talked about, okay, yeah, those were some question marks coming in and what would the offense produce. And she said through the first 20 games or so of this season, we're still trying to figure it out and kind of let it all unfold organically. But certainly some great weapons that return for this group. Preseason favorites once more in the ACC. And the fourth ball awarded to Harding, but just talking about, okay, yeah, you've got a Sydney Sherrill who is an All-American, a fantastic player. Catherine Sandercock also on that watch list for National Player of the Year. And then you add little bits and pieces of Florida State players who are continuing to develop their game, grow their game.
And I love that Coach Alameda knows that the dynamic of her team is going to change every single season. You have players graduate, you have new players come in. All these players have different strengths and different weaknesses. So for her as a head coach, she said it's her job to figure out how to place those pieces to make them most successful on the field.
And Kama Woodall wanting to get out of this inning, working ahead in the count to Michaela Edenfield. Gave up the leadoff single to Mudge, who's still at second, then struck out Kerr and Leonard. And Harding at first after that 2-out walk. And really trying to bait the Florida State batters to chase on the outside part of the plate.
Well, especially because Edenfield stands in the box about 8 inches away from that chalk line, really opening up that outside part of the strike zone, but Woodall having a hard time getting it in there.
Goes to second base and the ground out, 2 in the inning. Couple of runners left stranded for the Seminoles, but Woodall saying, good job, ladies.
At the end of 1 inning, no score. Wilson 18,000 Catfish gloves offer elite performance with premium material.
Other games in action right now. UCLA third-ranked Bruins trying to come back in this one. Tied at 1 apiece, and Kinsley Washington with the single. And 2 more runs come on to score for the Bruins. They are currently up 5-1 over Wisconsin. Catch that one over on ESPNU. Meanwhile, Auburn and USF in action, and Notre Dame leading Texas 6-2, and Fighting Irish have bases loaded. Top of the 5th with 2 outs.
So much good softball action going on right here. You just can't peel your eyes away from the screen or you're gonna miss something. It's been so much fun to be able to watch all these teams compete out here all weekend long. I can't help but go back to that aggressive base running by UCLA. We know, talking to Coach Inoue Perez, that was a point of emphasis for that team coming into this season. And much like that emphasis on base running that UCLA has, Florida State has that as well, something that they practice often to be able to execute during the season, to the point where even other coaches are coming up and asking Coach Alameda, hey, how are you able to get your team to run bases like that?
That's a great preview, BT Dub, for tonight's game between UCLA and Florida State, and we could very well see a matchup come this Women's College World Series between those 2 top-ranked teams. Oh, that just melts your heart right there. Little goobers.
Getting them started early, right?
That's right.
Softball fans from day one.
When did you start coming to the ballpark, Madison?
We are a sports family, so I started going to the ballpark very early, although I was late compared to some of my friends getting started and actually playing the game of softball. I wanted to be a cheerleader, believe it or not. Thank goodness I didn't go that route, because I would not have been good at that. But my first year out, I was that kid picking dandelions out in right field and loved it.
Nice backhand by Flaherty at second base. And 2 down. Retires Savannah Adams. So back-to-back ground outs induced by Catherine Sandercott.
Love it when a defense makes a really tough play look easy. Flaherty going with the backhand immediately fires over to first base. I love how she's watching that all the way in her glove, making sure no funny hops get hit off of her. Textbook defensive play right there by Flaherty.
How much did you enjoy doing that when you were in the infield for Tennessee and, you know, seeing your pitcher get pumped up after a great play?
Well, I knew how hard my pitchers were working in the circle, so I wanted to do my part and work equally as hard behind them to try to make as many plays as I possibly could, make myself as big as possible over at shortstop, trying to cover ground all the way from third base to beyond second base. And we've seen some fantastic defensive plays down here as well. I know we talk a lot about the hitters and what they've been able to do, but the defenders, both infield and outfield, a couple of home runs robbed in this tournament. Every outfielder's dream.
Elise Volpe standing in with a 2-1 count. And over to Muffley at shortstop, and again, another tough hop there, handled well by the Noles infield.
Attention softball fans, are you looking for the best coverage of college softball?
Struggles continue for Texas, and Notre Dame taking it to them. Brooke Marquez, who started off the inning with a home run, then a 2-run single to make it 8-2. They've since tacked on another run. It's 9-2 in the top of the 5th for Notre Dame.
Leading off
I'd
for the
say
Noles, number
what Texas
9,
has done
Devin
down at this
Flaherty.
tournament is one of the biggest surprises that we've seen throughout all of these ball games. Their pitching just getting roughed up every single outing, not being able to figure it out. And on top of that, seems like the perfect storm, whether it be walks or errors made by the defense. Texas just has not been able to figure it out.
We saw in that game against UCF last night, I mean, literally just about everything that could happen in softball seems like it happened in that game. A 15-10 win for the Wildcats. Nice short hop picked up by Cody at third base to retire Devin Flaherty. But, I mean, like, talk about errors. They were on both sides, quite honestly, for UCF. The hitters saw like 184 pitches in that game.
Seven errors Texas made in that game. And for anybody out there that was keeping score, I'm sure it was probably the messiest scorebook you've ever kept in your life, because you mentioned, Tiffany, anything you could possibly imagine happening in the game of softball happened in that ball game last night. But UCF coming out on top, just battling, throwing punches, never giving up, and coming up with some of those big timely hits.
Now, Florida State is certainly happy that Notre Dame is having the success they're having. That would be a big win over a top 10 team. But of course, their ACC brethren.
Well, we got an opportunity to talk to a lot of these coaches just about the growth of the ACC and the strength of the ACC, and a lot of them said, hey, we're just happy that the whole nation is finally recognizing it because we've been seeing it for a while. Of course, you know your teams like Florida State have been on top for a while, but they even talked about some of the teams down at the bottom of the ACC getting so much stronger. Teams like a Louisville with star-studded players like a Taylor Roby or a Carmen Greenwood bringing up the entire level of play for the ACC.
And Lonnie Alameda even mentioned, hey, look, there's this all-in approach that we want to build the brand. We want to make it better, gain greater exposure as Sydney Sherrill goes down swinging. And the product coming out of the hands of Kama Woodall on that pitch.
Yeah, she just stayed outside to Sydney Sherrill in this entire at-bat. This one with a little bit of upspin. Again, changing the game plan, I think, is a huge component for these pitchers in today's game. Being able to adjust on the fly depending on what you're seeing out of the offenses. It clearly looks like Florida State came into this game looking for that ball low in the zone, and so they're finding themselves falling behind in the count when Kama Woodall's bringing that pitch up there.
Allie Waycaser getting the start today in that designated player spot.
Perfect product of those game plans, right? Waycaser watches that rise ball go by, not necessarily expecting it, and then you start thinking about it, and then you watch the drop ball go by. So now you're caught in between game plans of what do you swing at when you step up to the plate. Waycaser, no stranger to scouting opponents. Somebody who was injured last season, and one of the ways that Coach Alameda likes to make sure that her injured players are staying involved in the game is that they scout the opposing pitchers for their teammates. Constantly thinking of the game, trying to come up with game plans for their teammates to approach those pitchers. So, you know, for her, trying to utilize all that knowledge that she gained in last season and bringing that into her at-bats this season.
She awaits the pitch from Woodall. Trying to time that one up, but pulls it foul. So she got a chance to see the first 7 batters for Florida State go up against Woodall, having a nice AB here. And just getting a piece of it, staying alive.
Nice job just battling, seeing as many pitches as possible after falling behind early. So having a good 2-strike approach, keeping her hands short to the ball, trying to make something happen.
Sydney Ball Malone, who calls the pitches, sends it in. Woodall delivers on the outside part of the plate. The pitch. And again, Waycaser making her work as Woodall has already thrown 45 pitches.
Yeah, really trying to do whatever she can to put that pressure back on Woodall in the circle. And I don't know if we can call that an E6 over in the coach's box. I don't think I have that on my stat sheet.
Wow, good at bat there from Waycaser. 2-out walk. to the redshirt freshman.
Just a battle after falling behind early, fouling off drop balls outside, drop balls inside, rise balls. She was not going down without a fight and ends up working her way on base for that 2-out walk.
Josie Muffley hitting in that 9 spot. Takes that one ball high. Now, if you're a defense, how does it affect you, even though you're accustomed to it, but you're awaiting the call from the dugout, and then you have to look at the wristband. Unless you go to the wristband, then the pitcher has to collect herself and gather.
I think just as we've talked about with pitchers and hitters having a pre-pitch routine, something they do every single time, I think it's really important for defenders to have that same type of pre-pitch routine, and what needs to be included in that is that pre-pitch thought of where am I going to go with the ball if it gets hit to me. It's so important to have those conversations with yourself or with your teammates before the ball's put in play, because if you wait till that ball is on its way to you, it's too late. So that constant communication needs to be there.
And after every pitch, the infield kind of comes in near the circle. They have a little word for Woodall, and then they spread and expand back out. The 3-1 pitch sent over the head of the shortstop. And now back-to-back base runners aboard as Muffley with a little bloop single.
Muffley just muscles this one out into center field, gets jammed up just a little bit, but you'll notice the way that Michaela Macario was going back. She drop-stepped initially with her right foot, went back a couple of steps, and then had to turn back to the left side. And that slight change in direction allowed that ball to bloop out into center field to continue this 2-out rally for the Seminoles.
Back to the top with Kaylee Mudge. And Mudge singled last inning. Kama Woodall hoping to get out of this jam with 2 on and 2 out. She delivers the 1-1 pitch to Mudge, and Mudge sharply hit foul down the first base line.
Mudge was just waiting for that pitch on the inside part of the plate. Just a little bit too early on it, gets slightly on top as well, driving it foul down that right field line. But she attacked that pitch. Again, another lefty in this lineup likes to drive that ball out into the outfield.
Here going up on the outside part of the plate to get that bobble just slightly by Emerson Lee, but still able to get Mudge just in time.
Kaylee Mudge almost legs this one out, driving it over to second base. Slight bobble, but Lee fires it over there. Ooh, that was a close one.
Bodytalk.com is a health and wellness marketplace.
ranked Auburn Tigers in action. Denver Bryant coming up with that double to the gap, helping the Tigers to get on the scoreboard, adding to their lead. It's 3-0 over South Florida. The Bulls will be in action once more against Wisconsin at 3:30. Then we'll close out with UCLA, Florida State at 7 o'clock on ESPN. This schedule update brought to you by Wilson. We have USF picked to finish second in the American. UCF slated third in the preseason poll, behind the favorites, Wichita State. And this is a UCF program that is looking to build year after year to get into a position like a Florida State, an in-state opponent who has won a national championship, made multiple appearances in the Women's College World Series.
Coach Bob Malone made it very clear that a goal for this team is to not just make it to regionals, but they want to host a regional.
Off the end of the bat of Ashley Griffin, and the throw a little high in time though for out one.
And they really like to go in depth into those goals as well, and they create a
night,
vision
9,
board.
Emerson
And
Lee.
Coach Sydney Bob Malone said she wanted them to come up with visual representations of what their goals were for this season. So the girls came back with pictures of Oklahoma City and the Women's College World Series, and she said that even one of her players came back with a picture of them on the bus driving to Oklahoma, to which she reassured the entire team that they would indeed be flying to the World Series. They wouldn't be driving a bus that far. But sure happy to see that the goals are coming from within that team, not just coming from the head coach saying, hey, we want to make it to the World Series, but it's something that this team talks about amongst themselves all the time.
Well, you see what's returning for Sydney Ball Malone in her 4th season as the head coach. 4 starters, including Gianna Mancha in the circle. We're seeing Kama Woodall today. And she furthered that point of saying, basically, when you look back to last season and a team like James Madison and the run that they had and making it to the Women's College World Series as not one of the top 8 seeds, she says that gives us hope.
Yeah, and they're UCF is a team that's really familiar with knocking off top opponents. You look back to that 2021 season, they beat Arizona early on in March. Gianna Mancha was in the circle during that game, and then they went on to beat Florida not once, but twice throughout the rest of the season. So for them, it's just a matter of putting those pieces together during the postseason.
They're itching to be the top team in the Sunshine State. And then you think back to just last weekend to open the season with that upset win over Georgia. Emerson Lee goes down swinging. Sandra Cox, 2nd strikeout today.
Catherine Sandercock just continues to show why she's so consistent day in and day out for the Seminoles. That drop ball with such gnarly movement. When it's coming out of her hand, it looks like it's going to stay right about thigh high. And as you go to swing, it's dropping off the table. So again, we talk about the approach and the game plan going up against somebody with such a dynamic drop ball. You have to swing where that ball's going to end up. If you swing where it looks like it's coming into you, you're going to be way on top of it. So for these batters, having to adjust early in their swings. And then you start thinking swing underneath the ball, and then she throws that one in there that has a little bit of upspin. So again, just that dynamic pitch arsenal that she has out there.
Michaela Macario out of Chula Vista, California. And sends that one foul into the left field stands. She got the ball, but doesn't she have to throw it back?
Little souvenir. She's proud of that one. Yeah.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Macario. Little check swing and first fly ball of the game for UCF, but not able to pick up a hit against Sander Kochish yet. It's all tied at 0 still.
Mizuno is a proud sponsor of the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational. From youth players to the top players in the world.
Sunday fun day from Clearwater, Florida State, and UCF. Yet to break through on the scoreboard as we move to the bottom of the third. Madison Shipman, Tiffany Green, we are excited. It's the final day of this St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational presented by Wilson. Florida State fans will be sticking around because they've got a big one coming up against third-ranked UCLA at 7 o'clock on ESPN on this field. Second time through the order for the Noles. And they made Woodall work through those first 2 innings.
Now Woodall was able to come away with 3 strikeouts in those first 2 innings, but you're exactly right. They were getting deeper and deeper into counts, trying to see as many pitches as possible to come up with the best plan of attack, the best game plan to try to get some runners on base and bring some runs across. We talked about in the open about how Florida State's offense will attack you in different ways, not just the same way every single game. And for them, it's just a matter of stringing together quality at-bats, putting the ball in play, putting that pressure on this UCF defense, and seeing if you can cause some havoc running on the base paths.
Kerr hits that one out of foul. Trying to give everyone a heads up as the field right next to us also has a game in play. Auburn and USF. That one missing. 4th full count of the game for Woodall. Talking about going deep into counts, as you mentioned, Madison. Right back to Woodall. Fist pump after she just puts the glove out and catches it. Great reaction by Woodall.
This ball was hit so hard off the bat of Janai Kerr. Line drive straight back up the middle. Look at those cat-like reflexes, getting that glove up there. Just when it looked like it was gonna get past her, snags it out of midair, and I love the reaction. The energy that you're getting from Kama Woodall in the circle immediately turns around to fire up the rest of her defense because she knows how big that play was.
This one a chopper, the backhand couldn't collect the ball from Emerson Lee, and so Mac Leonard aboard with the one-out single.
Mac Leonard approached this at-bat knowing that her teammate before her had seen a lot of pitches coming in, made her work, and went up to that at-bat attacking early. The first pitch that she saw that was good in her wheelhouse, driving it right back up the middle to see if she can get something started.
Despite a lot of pitches and giving up a few hits, it's Woodall who has still kept FSU off the scoreboard. Will the Noles change that here this inning? She walked Kaylee Harding in her first plate appearance of the game. Woodall to Harding, and Cody getting the lead runner, and then an errant throw there. But Harding will be at first base safely, and Leonard is retired. Quick update for you on Field 9, Auburn and South Florida, and Nelia Peralta, one of those terrific freshmen, and she goes yard just over the center field wall.
How about the power that Auburn's offense has shown us so far this season? Finishing last in the SEC in several hitting categories last season, so a point of emphasis coming into this year for Coach Mickey Dean was getting them stronger, being able to have more consistent offense, and man, those bats have just exploded through the first 2 weekends of season thus far.
Picked to finish in the bottom half of the SEC in the last 3 teams, but if they keep hitting like that and they couple that with the pitching of Shelby Lowe, watch out for the Tigers. Woodall ahead, 0-2 to Michaela Edenfield.
Whole UCF dugout wanted that one called for strike 3 right there. Just missing slightly low and outside, but I like that location in that 2-strike count, keeping it just out of the reach of Edenfield. Even if she were to swing at that pitch, a really tough one to barrel up.
The hit and run appeared to be on as Harding was taken off. She'll go back as Edenfield. 1-2 count. Whatever you gotta do to stay loose, and you got a doubleheader on the way. This is everyday business in softball, but Edenfield over to the second baseman, and maybe the runner distracted her for just a second, got her eye off the ball, and Edenfield is at first.
Looked like Edenfield got this one off the very end of the bat, so it had some funny English on it as it was on its way to Emerson Lee at second base, and it just rolls up her arm. When you see those balls miss-hit like that, you've got to try to do whatever you can to charge it as much as possible. Take away that last extra hop. Ends up eating her up on that one. Florida State with a little 2-out rally cooking.
Oh, here is Flaherty, and Flaherty off the left field wall. That'll send home not 1, but 2 Seminoles there on the board.
It all comes down to that timely hit. Who is going to step up when you have runners in scoring position? And Devin Flaherty comes up and blasts this one out to the left center wall, taking advantage of that defensive miscue on the ground ball before. She steps up to the plate and takes advantage of this opportunity to get her Seminoles on the board.
And you see her looking back to her dugout, clapping, "Let's go." Flaherty has had herself a nice turn
for the Seminoles,
invitational.
Number 24, Sydney Sherrill.
Going 5 for 9 with 4 RBI. Sydney Sherrill at the plate looking to extend this 2-out rally. Nearly does so with that swing. It goes foul.
It sounds like a completely different team in this Seminole dugout than we've seen through the first 2 innings of this ball game. And when I'm looking back at my scorebook, I circle that line drive back up the middle by Janai Kerr. Smokes it right back up the middle. Doesn't get the result that she wants because of a great play by Kama Woodall in the circle, but it finally felt for the Seminoles that somebody was able to get a good piece of barrel on the ball. And after that, you've seen this offense really swing with authority through the rest of this bottom of the third.
It seems for just as much as it energized Woodall to try to get her team behind her and her defense going, it did much of the same for Florida State. And Sherrill sends it to right, a fielding error in the outfield for Savannah Adams, and they're saying, come all the way home. It's gonna be a play at the plate, and she is safe. Well, Sydney Sherrill just put on the motor. What was going to be a casual single to right ended up with 2 runs plated.
Well, how quickly this ball game has changed in just 3 batters. But Sydney Sherrill comes up and just smacks this ball straight through the 3-4 hole. Gets underneath the glove of Savannah Adams out in right field. But no hesitation at all from Sherrill, rounding third base. The helmet flies off. She sneaks that hand in to extend the Seminoles lead. Taking another look at just how close that play was at home. Man, it almost looked like if Ashley Griffin was able to come up with that ball cleanly, she would have had Sherrill, but not able to secure that one, and Sherrill taking advantage of it.
If you're scoring at home, that was a base hit, and then she was able to come home on the error in right field. All of this happening for Florida State with 2 outs.
Well, and UCF had a chance to get out of this inning. That ground ball over to second base by Michaela Edenfield that just ate up Emerson Lee extended this inning. And you got to give a lot of credit to Florida State, who's been able to take advantage of it.
And yes, we said Lonnie Alameda, her team likes to find ways to put pressure on you. We saw it early trying to steal a base going, but now it's just all around good hitting in addition to taking advantage of some missteps from UCF. But that's what the great teams do. They find ways to capitalize when given a little extra opportunity.
Well, you find ways to win, right? Because not every day, 1 through 9, are you going to be hitting on all cylinders. Nobody's going to go 3 for 3 every single day. So what are you going to do when those days are really tough? Days where you're having a tougher time at finding barrel on the bat up at the plate. Maybe a day where you're not getting as stellar of a pitching performance. How are you going to have your pitchers' backs in the circle? Just finding different ways to continue to be successful out on the dirt.
And Waycaser goes down swinging, and Woodall ends it without giving up any more. But FSU hangs 4 here in the third.
The St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational is brought to you by Visit St. Pete Clearwater, the city of Clearwater.
Welcome back to the 2022 St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational presented by Wilson. Madison Shipman, Tiffany Green, joined now by UCF head coach Cindy Ball Malone. And coach, obviously your team was able to scrap one in yesterday's win over a top 10 opponent. How do you come back in this one against Florida State?
Well, I mean, we have to continue to get better at playing clean ball and, you know, just let that inning go and split the lead in half is what we're going to try to do right now.
And offensively, going up against a really tough pitcher in Catherine Sandercock, what sort of adjustments are you looking for your hitters to make?
I like to see them hit the inside half and, you know, lift the ball a little bit. So we know that they can field ground balls right now, so we're just going to do something a little different.
All right, Coach, we thank you and
All right.
appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Well, Sandercock, who got a chance to see these UCF Knights last season, these two met in the Tallahassee Regional. It was Florida State going on to win that one. And Catherine Sandercock, thus far today, probably splitting the pitches in half of what her opposing pitcher is doing. 32 just spent from her.
A ton of zeros across the line for Catherine Sandercock, right? But the one that stands out to me is that 0 walks, 0 free passes. She is forcing UCF to have to put the ball in play, and she is trusting that infield behind her.
1, 2, 3 due up here in the fourth, and Johnny Chareau takes strike one. Just good, healthy cuts. Starting there for this UCF team is what they'll need to try to chip away at the lead.
When you heard Coach talking about trying to hit the inside of the ball, a lot of times what happens when you're going up against a drop ball pitcher is you end up rolling over and hitting the ball off of the end of the bat. So what she's trying to tell her team is to keep her hands inside of those pitches as they're on their way to them, which keeps your barrel back behind you and allows you to lift those drop balls out into the outfield.
And Rowe goes down swinging, so another strikeout recorded for Catherine Sandercock, her third of the day.
Sandercock just challenging the lefty Rowe inside with this drop ball.
Next batter for the night.
Again, such a challenging pitch for slappers to
50.
get good barrel on, especially when it's coming inside to them as well. She does what she can to keep her hands inside of that one, but just not able to come up with solid contact.
Sandercock looking in. Participated in Team USA tryouts earlier this year. And it was announced that she be a part of that 2022 Canada Cup roster, along with the Japan All-Star Series as well, coming up this summer. Good pitch coming inside, and the elongated strikeout call from home plate umpire, and that's the fourth one for Sandercock.
Very enthusiastic back there behind the plate, right? But again, those drop balls, she's just working them on both sides of the plate, getting those lefties leaning, anticipating, thinking that she's going to stay on the outside part of the zone, and just jams them up inside and freezes them up.
Jada Cody has her own theme song, as her teammates chanting it from the dugout. Again, Sandercock just has made it so difficult for Cody and others.
Well, it's that downward movement, and one way that hitters are going to combat that movement is by moving up in the box. Jada Cody typically sits with that back foot right on the chalk line, but you'll notice here that her feet are actually straddling home plate to see if she can try to get that pitch before it drops. We'll take another look at the way that she sets up. See, that back foot is almost even with the back point of home plate, seeing if she can make contact with that drop ball before it ends up down at her knees or at shin level.
And that goes off of her shin. She pops back up.
She's got that leg and foot guard on, but it looked like it might have hit right above it on that swing. Again, that downward movement, when you don't get your barrel underneath those drop balls, that's when you're going to see a lot of foul balls hit off of the legs of these batters. Stepping in again in that same exact spot. Just trying to change it up, see if she can attack that drop ball.
Great camera work there. And good eye by you, Madison. The 2-2. And what a play by Sandercock in the circle. 3 up, 3 down, and Sandercock is not playing around, all right?
Catherine Sandercock just dealing that drop ball in the circle. UCF hasn't been able to make an adjustment, so why change? Keep throwing that thing, that downward, filthy movement. Sandercock is rolling.
Oh, the little fellow who is enjoying some softball right now as Florida State is enjoying a 4-0 lead. Their head coach, Lonnie Alameda, joining us now. And coach, first time through the lineup. Your team didn't have success against Woodall. What adjustments did they make the second time around?
I mean, making her throw a lot of pitches, trying to get some 3-2 counts. I'm from this side, feel like we have a little wide zone, which might be, something that we can look at later. But, love the fight, the getting after it right now. She's a good pitcher. She's getting after it.
And Coach, Janai Kerr is somebody who has battled injuries. What's it like being able to have her back in that lineup? She really seemed to spark them in the third inning with that line drive back up the middle.
Yeah, her and Holloway Kaser and Kirsten Landers at home, anyone that tears their ACL, and just kind of feeling it for them, and they're trying to get that trust back in, one, their knee and their skill sets. And, I think awesome adjustment for her. I mean, we had, Mudge there at second, no outs, and, she kind of chased some pitches, and, she wants it so bad. And sometimes you just got to settle down and relax and, get balls in the zone. So, and Kira, I know you're watching out there, and we love you, and speedy recovery to you.
All right, thanks, Coach. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, the roster that was brought here to Clearwater has thus far seen nothing but success this weekend, and ahead of UCF going into the top of or bottom of the fourth inning. UCLA looming tonight, 7 o'clock over on ESPN. And I know that Kirsten Landers will be certainly cheering her team on, watching the game and hoping that's a different outcome than the 2022 Invitational, where it was the Bruins besting the Knowles. The shortstop, Josie Muffley, working ahead. Singled her last time up, back in the second.
Already catcher Ashley Griffin out to have a conversation with Kama Woodall out there in the circle. I feel like we're at a point in the game where it can go one of two directions for Woodall in the circle. Either she can bounce back from last inning, take what she learned of the response that she got from Florida State's offense and run with it and continue to capitalize on it, or it can go the other way.
Well, that one goes the other way into the opposite field for a single for Josie Muffley, her second of the game.
Muffley in a good hitter's count here, gets a pitch that's hung over the plate. It looked like it was supposed to be outside and comes tailing back towards that right-handed Muffley, driving it out to right field for a leadoff base hit. And just as we were talking about how this inning can go one of two ways, Florida State continuing that momentum that they gained back in the bottom of the third inning and carrying it here into the bottom of the fourth.
When you heard Coach Alameda talk about Mudge, how she wants it so much, and Kaylee Mudge. Oh, they tried to keep or catch Muffley, and she's able to slide back to first. I have a feeling that Josie Muffley will be trying to steal.
Well, I think UCF's got the same feeling as well, kind of getting her hung up there between first and second base. Ashley Griffin back there behind the plate on her toes, knowing that Florida State is very aggressive on the base paths.
Mudge, a single and a ground out. And taking off is Muffley, and the throw there was bobbled. And now Muffley is in scoring position.
You know, there's a reason why people always say speed never slumps. And one thing that makes it so great and such a useful tool for offenses is you don't have to sacrifice an out to move a runner over into scoring position. Perfect example is what we just saw there. Josie Muffley able to utilize her speed and steal second base.
And then a productive at-bat for Kaylee Mudge, who runs her over basically 90 or 60 feet closer to home plate.
And being at second base with one out and being at third base with one out are two very different situations for the hitter coming up to the plate. With that runner over at a third base with one away, you have so many different options, so many ways that you could score that run, whether it be by a sacrifice fly deep out to the outfield or even laying down a squeeze bunt, continuing to put pressure on that defense.
And now the fire starter for that two-out rally was Janai Kerr, who's at the plate. She lined out right back to Woodall, but then it was a domino effect and a number of good things happened for Florida State after her at-bat.
That at-bat last inning, Janai Kerr worked her way into a full count, saw a lot of pitches, really made Kama Woodall work, finally got one she could handle. A great defensive play by Woodall in the circle, but you're exactly right, Tiffany. It completely sparked that entire offense because Mac Leonard came up right behind her, swinging early in the count and pounding one out to the outfield.
That one coming inside on Kerr. She did not commit. 2 balls and a strike. Kerr hits this one high and foul. Into the stands. Oh, it was just bobbled around by some fans. Good effort. Good try.
Almost a really nice play out there. Of course, we've got a slow-mo shot of it. Oh, bobbled it around. A little hot potato. All the fans were counting on him right there.
Another full count for Janai Kerr. Tried to paint the outside corner, not able to do so, and Kerr trots to first base. Runners at the corners for Mac Leonard.
Seminoles, number 13, Mac
That pitch
Leonard.
very, very close. Just outside of the zone. You could even see Janai Kerr kind of hesitate for a second, waiting for that call from the home plate umpire, who ultimately rules that one ball 4. And now Florida State finds themselves here in a 1st and 3rd situation. Might see some pinch runners come on board as well.
Deion Riggs will come in for Kerr. Riggs, the
Pinch running for the
sophomore out
Seminoles,
of
number
Fort Walton
26,
Beach.
Deion Riggs.
And like you mentioned, Madison, really important to see which way this inning will go for Kama Woodall. Will Florida State be able to produce some more runs, or can she shut the door?
Woodall found a way to get out of some innings in the 1st and the 2nd inning, got a runner on board, got some big strikeouts. And even going back to that 3rd inning, she almost got them out of it. It was an error over at second base that extended that inning, continued at bats for Florida State that they were able to take advantage of. So for her, it's a matter of just not trying to change too much, because what she had done up until that point was very successful. So going back to that game plan, what was working well for her in the beginning of this ball game was kind of setting these batters up with that rise ball, getting them to anticipate that another drop ball was coming and changing that eye level of that pitch coming in.
That ball outside to Leonard. And just poking away at that one, and sprinkles it into left field, and a run across for Florida State. And on the throw, Leonard moves to second. So they remain in scoring position. It's now 5-0 FSU.
Really nice piece of hitting on this outside pitch. Look at the way that Mac Leonard just throws her hands at that ball down the left field line, dropping it out into the grass. And again, the aggressive base running from the trail runner. Mac Leonard doesn't just stop and watch the play develop from first base, but she hustles all the way over to 2 to get another runner into scoring position.
Pinch running for the Noles,
There's going to be a
number 14,
pitching change
Autumn
for
Delby.
UCF, and we'll tell you who's coming in relief when we come back.
The new pitcher for the Knights is number 55, Grace Jewell.
Coming to a close for Notre Dame and Texas as Leah Hanks coming in from left field, charging into foul territory to catch that one. A nice diving grab from her. And then from behind the plate, Grimm making this throw to first in time. And oh, this one's going deep to left. And there's Leah Hanks. Oh my.
You know the bats were working for Notre Dame, putting up 9 runs against Texas. But how about that defense? Leah Hanks ending that one on a good note.
Grace Jewell, the new pitcher in the circle for UCF, making her 4th appearance of the season.
Jewell's going to be a little bit of a different look than what we saw out of Woodall to start this ball game. She throws the ball with really good velocity, bringing it 68, 70 miles per hour. Her coaches call her Wild Thing, and they mean that in the best way, but her speed makes batters uncomfortable in the box. So she's going to need to come in, bring that velocity, attack the strike zone, and try to get her team back into the dugout to score some runs.
She inherits runners at second and third with only 1 out. As UCF does not want to see this lead widen against in-state foe Florida State.
Next batter for the Seminoles, number 8, Haley Harding.
The first batter Jewell will face is Kaylee Harding.
A lot of times what you see from batters when a new pitcher enters the game is they force that new pitcher to have to throw a strike. I know a lot of strategies for coaches when they come in is to keep that bat on your shoulder until they can prove they can bring one over the strike zone. And right there, that one missing low and inside to Harding, who didn't look like she was planning on swinging on that first pitch.
And there, the wild pitch passing Griffin gets underneath, and another run across. As there's a bit of that wild thing you were kind of talking about right there. Just kind of got away from Jewell.
Yeah, this one skipping down into the dirt. You could see it was supposed to be outside, ended up going low and inside. And Ashley Griffin kind of running into the home plate umpire there, trying to make a play on the ball. Not able to come up with it in time to prevent that run from scoring.
Riggs plates the 6th run. She does her job.
Hey, let's go eight.
A little high quality H2O right after. And wow, what a grab from the second baseman, Katie Burge, who came in as a defensive substitution. And Sky and Tall to bring that one in for the 2nd out.
This game's all about momentum shifts, and what a better way to get momentum back on your team's side than with a great defensive play. Katie Burge jumping way up in the air to snag this one off the bat. I thought that was going to be a routine base hit, no problem, but she says not today. And again, the heads-up play of coming down with that ball and immediately firing over to third to see if she can try to catch this Florida State runner sleeping.
Michaela Edenfield sees strike 1. Edenfield, who reached on an error back in the 3rd, grounded out her first time up. Another good pitch there from Jewell.
Back-to-back changeups. I like that plan of attack going up against the powerful Edenfield up at the plate, who knows Jewel's going to bring the velocity. That Coach Bob Malone over there calling pitches says we're going to start you off with 2 off speeds to get this at-bat going.
Time on the field as a ball coming over from another field lands here, and so all square and clear here. Back to play. Jewel steps off the rubber, takes time. Woo! My goodness, moonshot from Edenfield. Bye-bye. The contact off the bat of Edenfield, and she sent it scorching out of the park.
I think everybody in this stadium had the same sound effect come out of their mouths as soon as she made contact with that ball, just clobbering this fastball. Knowing she just saw back-to-back changeups, the odds were she wasn't going to see back-to-back-to-back, and she is all over that fastball. I don't think that ball's landed yet. I mean, she got every square inch of that one.
Edenfield, wow. That was fun. Yeah, I mean, you know, so many balls have left the yard throughout this weekend.
There are some off the bat that you think maybe that has a chance. Right. That one was a no-doubter. The entire stadium knew as soon as that thing left her bat, that had no chance of staying in the yard. Of course, that one important for Edenfield and Florida State, but even more importantly, it puts them into run rule territory. So that'll force UCF to have to score at least 1 run in the top of the 5th to keep this ball game going.
It all started for Florida State, that 2-out rally last inning. They were able to put up a 4 spot on the scoreboard. Here they've done so again, and now UCF has to try to push a run across, or that will do it. And let's look back at Edenfield one more time.
Michaela Edenfield trying to hit this one all the way back to Tallahassee. Seminoles have the 8-0 lead.
St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational, presented by Wilson, is brought to you by Visit St. Pete Clearwater, Florida, and Wilson Fast Pitch, leaders in softball innovation.
Game-changing fast pitch bat from Louisville Slugger. Learn more and customize your favorite bat at slugger.com. The new pitcher for the Seminoles is number 17, Emma Wilson.
Welcome back to the St. Pete Clearwater Elite Invitational presented by Wilson. And this guy's like, are my UCF Knights going to come back? Come on, come on. As we take a look at today's Impact Players. Brought to you by Visit St. Pete Clearwater. And Catherine Sandercock leaving after 4 innings pitched, not giving up a hit or a run.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty good statistical day for any pitcher, but she really came in and commanded the zone, utilizing that drop ball, that great spin, great movement in the no walks, no free passes, really not letting up at all, not giving UCF a chance to even get anything going.
And the new pitcher is Emma Wilson, the junior out of Dallas, Georgia.
Wilson's going to mix a couple of different pitches. She likes to work that curveball, drop ball combination. Really tight spin on her balls. Move well through the zone.
Remember,
she's working on developing that changeup and that rise ball as well.
I was jumping the gun there because as you were talking about Emma Wilson, we were seeing Sandercock on the screen, and I'll say this, 44 pitches on the day. That's light work, but remember, a big hit coming up at 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN against UCLA. And make sure their arm is ready just in case. And just as you said, no free passes given up by Sandercock, and Emma Wilson awards the walk to Doherty.
Well, nobody wants to give up a walk, right, if you're a pitcher, but especially when your offense just puts up as many runs as they did in the bottom of the 4th inning. The last thing you want to do is start off the top of the 5th with that free pass, not even giving your defense a chance to make a play on it.
And Savannah Adams at the plate, grounded out her last time up, and that was another thing. This defense was busy. Of ground balls off of Sandercock's drop ball pitches and such. At the end of the day, you know, Catherine Sandercock just wants for a team to come out with a W. And if they can finish it off early, it gives them a little bit more time to rest before tonight. That one getting past the catcher, throw down the second, not in time. As Kylo LaPrest is getting tested early, as some movement in the bullpen already for Florida State.
Well, the one pitcher we really haven't seen any movement from is Danielle Watson in this ball game. But one of the great things about this Florida State pitching staff is their versatility. They have a ton of arms. They can come at you with a different arm every single ball game. And what a way for Wilson to bounce back after that leadoff walk to come up with a big strikeout there.
23, Elise Volpe.
Runner in scoring position for Volpe, and again, once more, the Seminoles catcher having to be a little bit more active.
We can see just how much spin Wilson has on her pitches. And they're moving all over the place, but you're exactly right. Tiffany Lopresti really working back there behind the plate to try to keep those balls in front.
Wilson got that in there for strike one. And back to the pitcher, and 2 away. 1-3 put out, and UCF down to their final out.
Bouncing back again for Wilson. Being able to really compete as a complete pitching
Next
staff
batter for the night,
is huge for
number
Florida State.
27, Ashley Griffin.
I think we're at the point in the game of softball where you can't just rely on one arm to carry you through the entire season. You need to see an entire staff come together to attack all sorts of different opponents, something that Florida State did really well last season with arms, of course, like Danielle Watson, Catherine Sandercock, and Kaylin Arnold as well, who has since graduated. But that's something that they're working on, developing those pitchers that maybe don't see as many innings, but trying to get them prepared for games down the stretch.
In the importance of weekends like this early in the season, facing off against a number of ranked opponents and some elite talent, help prepare this group moving forward, all these teams. The 1-2 sent in the center field, underneath it, and that ends the ball game. So the pitching staff for Florida State no hits, 24th ranked UCF, and they run rule the Knights.
The final score of today's game is FSU
8-0.
UCF 0.
Time now for today's game track, brought to you by Wilson, and the story was Catherine Sandercock in the circle, and then Edenfield putting an exclamation point on this game.
Well, I think one thing that Florida State has proven is that when you're going up against them, you have to play near perfect defense, because they are going to take advantage of any little mistake, any miscue that you make out there on the field. They're going to attack you with their speed. They're going to attack you with their power. And of course, they're going to attack you with that pitching staff as well.
Well, partner, we've got one more to go. South Florida and Wisconsin coming up here at 3:30 on ESPN Plus. And remember, tonight it's UCLA, Florida State with Beth, Amanda, and Michelle, 7 Eastern on ESPN. We finish it after 5. Madison, Tiffany, say bye.